My name is Josh Miller. I own Riverstone Kennels, and I've been training gun dogs for more than 16 years. I have field trialed, I've hunt tested, but at the end of the day, I'm a duck hunter. You might find that the duck in our Duck Dogs podcast is spelled uniquely. The UK stands for my British Labs. I love my British Labs. I love what they offer me, both as a part of my family and the high motor in the field. As you're going to find, I have some pretty special dogs. Follow along in our podcast series here as we talk about both in the field hunting and in the field training situations that will hopefully help you progress with your dog at home. Thank you once again to Eukanuba. Eukanuba Premium Performance Sport 3020 is what I feed my dogs. I would highly recommend it to anyone out there that is looking for a high-quality premium food to put your four-legged hunting partner on. Eukanuba Premium Performance Sport 3020, and thank you to Eukanuba for bringing you this podcast. Also, thank you to Gun Dog Supply. Gun Dog Supply is your one-stop shop for all of your hunting and dog training needs, and they have a fantastic customer service. I think I've heard that 2 or 3 times this week. So go check them out at www.gundogsupply.com. Also, thank you to Lucky Duck. Go check out the new large 5-star crash test rated kennel alongside their intermediate. So now whatever size of a dog you have or however much room you need, you now have the safest kennel on the market to go ahead and transport your dog in. Huge safety things. So check them out, luckyduck.com. All right, everybody. So let me tell you where I am, and then I'm going to tell you why I'm here. I am currently sitting in the basement bathroom of my house, and I came down here, and don't act like you've never done this before. I came down here because I just needed 5 minutes to myself. I just needed to take a breath. And the reason I needed to do that is not because I was frustrated, not because I was angry or mad or anything like that, but I have had now weeks of nonstop go. We just came off a game fair, which is what I really want to talk about that today. Want to share with you. Can't talk today. I want to share with you how that went. I want to share with you some observations that I had, from that, and I would also like to, go over, kind of what I'm looking forward to, going into the next few weeks. So, but let me tell you why I'm sitting in my bathroom downstairs. So you come off of 2 weeks of game fair. So this is inevitably the craziest time of year for us at the kennel. It's right before season starts. Everybody's trying to get their dogs back. So naturally, if dogs are taking a little longer, timelines get more, stressful on the owner's side. So you're dealing with that. You're dealing with dogs trying to get home. You're dealing with a lot of people trying to get dogs in. We had 19 phone calls yesterday of people trying to get their dogs in for training. We can't take them because we are full. So, but naturally you have to have, those conversations, which take time, and, there's only so many hours in the day. You have 2 weekends of game fair, which I'll go over that again, but it's, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you throw that into this month. August is just pure insanity. And then I come off a game fair, and then Sport Dog is here on Monday. And then Eukanuba is here shooting some video content, which I can't wait for you guys to see here coming out in the future. But Eukanuba is here shooting some video content. So naturally, my days get way longer now, right? Because I still have to get my training done. I still have to get my work done. And when you go through game fair is, from start to stop, I'm smiling, I'm talking with people, I'm engaging. It's go. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot, just emotionally engaging. And now you'll roll right into video work. So you're doing the same thing. Now it's just to a camera. And that's why I just needed a couple minutes. I came down here and I'm like, just want to be by myself for 5 minutes. So like I said, don't act like you've never done it. But I also was sitting here going, I haven't done a podcast this week, so I better also get on that. So I drug the recorder in here, and so now you are sharing my me time with me. So I want to go over where I'm going now with season, because season for me starts next week. I'm super excited. I also have some things that I'm thinking about as I roll into this. I'll share that with you. But let me talk about Game Fair first, because I've said on this show, and I've said in a number of different platforms a lot, that what I love most about the dog industry, or what I'm doing, are the relationships that come out of it, right? I've talked about how that's what I love more than anything else, is the relationship side of things. And, it may sound a little morbid, but dogs come and go. I'm at the point of my career where I've now had the kennel for, I think, going on 12 years training. And, we're just at that point where you're getting phone calls on a fairly regular basis. They're very, tearful, not fun conversations to have, but, just kind of letting me know that, a dog that was once a big part of my life has now, crossed that rainbow bridge, and it's not fun. But that's what I mean when I say dogs come and go, but the relationships stay the same. If those relationships weren't so impactful, I wouldn't get those phone calls. Then in turn, we wouldn't start this journey all over again together as we get a new puppy and we go and start the process all over again. The relationships are huge. But sometimes it takes a show like Game Fair to put things in perspective for me. And so what Game Fair did for me this year is I came into it going, oh my gosh, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to spend 3 days away from the kennel. I don't have time to be, standing at a booth talking. I don't have time to be sitting there doing seminars. I don't have time for this. That quickly changed the more my mental thought, my mental approach to that quickly changed when I started talking to people. So my mental approach really changed early on in the show as I started talking to people. The stories that I heard, they were incredible. They were, how a dog that, or a puppy that they had gotten, from me had, changed their life. I had heard stories about how, following us, on Instagram, was, something that, they looked forward to every single day. They woke up and said, what is Riverstone doing today? I had one gentleman that, had come to me, and I thought this was super cool, is I had recently put a post up about me and Strike, and it was just a photo of me. If you follow us on social media, you probably saw this photo, but it was a photo of Strike and I on a hunt, and I was just holding Strike's head, and I was kissing him on the forehead. And I said something, I can't remember exactly what the copy said, but it was something like, it's not about the ribbons, it's not about the titles, it's not about, the stacks of green heads. This is what it's about. It's about this bond. It's about this relationship. And I had an individual come to me and say that post was so incredibly impactful to him. He said that he was at a hunt test. He had failed the test. He was so frustrated. He was so upset. And, he opened up social media and saw that, and he literally started to cry because he had realized that he was looking at this wrong. There'll be other tests. There'll be things to work on. That's not what this whole thing is about. Stuff like that, like those stories, I think what they do for me when I'm able to see people face to face and I'm able to really feel the emotion that they're putting into this conversation, what it does for me is it just allows me to step back and say, maybe what I'm doing here is a little bigger than where my day-to-day grind keeps me. My day-to-day grind, it has me so tunnel visioned on a certain dog, a certain drill, a certain progress, a certain owner, right? And I just get these blinders on, and sometimes I have to take those blinders off, and I have to look at the big picture. That's what Game Fair did for me this year. It was incredible. the number of people I talked to. It was incredible the number of people that listened to this podcast. I had one of my seminars, so I spoke every day. I spoke, gave an hour-long seminar. And one of the seminars, Strike was with me, and I was introducing him, and I said, I want to give you the whole Strike story. If you guys have followed along this, you know the Strike story. And I said, I won't give you the whole story, but does anyone listen to podcasts? Of course, everybody raises their hand. It was a big crowd. Everybody raised their hand. I said, does anybody happen to listen to my podcast? And I swear everybody kept their hand up, and I was like, oh my gosh. That moment right there made me realize how important this time is. That I'm able to connect with you guys, build a relationship with you guys on a weekly basis. Sometimes I don't even feel that. It put it in perspective to me. And so it was really a fun show for me. I think I came out of that re-energized. I think I have more energy this week than I've had the last few weeks. I think I have, although a lot going on, I love it. And not that I didn't love it before, I just have a different energy. And so Game Fair is a really, really neat show. I would highly suggest anybody that has not gone, go to it. It's like, the best way to describe it is like a state fair for dogs. Like people have their dogs. It's state fair for outdoorsmen is probably a better way to put it, because there's booths, everything from, I think like bikes and sound, hearing protection to decoys and blinds and, all sorts of stuff. It is really neat. I would highly suggest going to that show. But sometimes my challenge to you is find what you need. If you're caught up in your day-to-day grind, find what it is that you need to step back, take the blinders off, and look at the big picture. Okay? Whether that's your personal life, your family life, your business life, it was rejuvenating for me. And I think it would be a really good thing if you needed that moment. Somebody listening to this might need this. Just reevaluate that. Really take that step back and look at that big picture. It helped me tremendously. So let's look at now going forward, because we're going to get into hunting season next week. I can't believe it's here. And I'm going my first trip. Look forward to this every year. My first trip is a Kansas dove trip for dove opener. And I've done this, again, to the relationship, comment. I've done this trip now annually. I think this will be the 4th or 5th year with a client that has become a tremendous friend of mine. And I think I've trained 3 dogs for him now. And it's the perfect way to ease into the season for me. It's super chill, super relaxed. We see a ton of doves. And it's a way that I can kind of ease into the season. That first hunt for my dogs isn't going to be a teal hunt where that first wad is 50, 60 birds and, blow their mind type deal. Let's just ease into this thing. Super relaxed, shoot a couple doves, have a couple good retrieves, have some fun, easing into it. I've loved that trip for that. But then from there, I'm going to go down to Texas teal opener. And this will be the first time that I'm going to go to Texas for teal. So it's new for me, new for the dogs. I'm sure there'll be some challenges that I'll talk about, as we, get done with that hunt and come back. I'll kind of talk about, how it was new for me and what I had to do to overcome some things. But I love the challenge. I love something new. I think my dogs are ready for it. I think we're going to go into the season very prepared. I'm super excited, to be kicking off, this hunting season. And for me, a little bonus. So I was kind of in an interesting situation where I have dove opener, and then I have teal opener, Kansas, Texas, and I'm in Wisconsin. They're a week apart from each other. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so do I drive all the way back to Wisconsin just to turn around a couple of days later and drive all the way back to Texas? Okay, that's a lot of driving. Or since I'm already halfway there, bounce down, to Texas and find something to do. And for those of you who know me, love archery hunting. Big passion of mine, kind of like my getaway a little bit, if you will. Like anytime I'm hunting with the dogs, I'm always working to an extent. I'm not just hunting. It's not a leisurely thing, always for me. And so archery hunting for me is that. I get to, enjoy that time outdoors. I love, the art of archery as far as, the practice, the skill, that it takes. I mean, I love everything about it. But I was able to line up some property, I think, hopefully it works out, that I can go try to aoudad hunt on. And I'm super excited because sheep hunting is, all the sheep are on my bucket list. I'd love to do the Grand Slam. This may be as close as I ever get to it. I've never done this before, so I'm going to do spot and stalk with my bow. Probably not going to be successful. I'm going into it with that mindset. I'm sure they're going to teach me a lot in a short period of time, but I am just so stoked to be going and doing this. I am excited. Not that I'm more excited for that than the teal or the dove, but I might be more excited about it. It's just, it's something that I've really always wanted to do, and so super excited about that. Hope we can make that happen. But yeah, we're going to kick this thing off fast and furious. It's going to be a lot of traveling. It's going to be really good stuff. I'm going to be taking some precautions as I go down there. I really want to make sure my dogs stay cool. It looks like it's going to be warm, specifically in Texas. So I'm going to be having fans on the crates and making sure that that's my top priority, is making sure that they are cool, because it's great in Wisconsin right now. It's like high 70s, super nice weather, really like that. There's going to be a little bit of a culture shock here as we go down to this hot weather that my dogs aren't prepared for. So I'm going to keep an extra eye on that already going into it. Going to make sure they're staying hydrated. I'll probably put water in their food when I feed them just to make sure they're staying hydrated. Little traveling tips like that. When I'm going towards the warmer climates, I want to make sure that they stay hydrated. So, a few things here as I go into that I'm super excited about. I cannot wait. I have a few last minute things here I'm trying to just, line up here and, just kind of finish up work-wise. Training-wise, we're 4 or 5 days away now from traveling. There's nothing I'm going to train in now that if I hadn't been working on it, through the summer. So I'm still just kind of running drills, and I'm, planting blinds, and, running some marks, stuff like that. But my dogs are prepared. They're going to go into the season. I think they're going to be super successful. Strike is the dog I have my eye on this year. Going into year 2, he was very impressive in year 1. We were able to build off of that. Now going into year 2, he's the dog I kind of have my eye on going, how are you going to handle this? Okay. I'm also looking at Brock because, Brock's my boy. Really looking at, he's already been at a high level for so long. What does this year have to bring? Clyde, same way. Clyde's starting to get a little older. I think he's 6 or 7 now. So I really want to put an emphasis on him getting a bunch of birds, getting the, meaning that he's getting older. We all know how that, that feels. Bud, who is, my young all-star, is going to be 3 now, I think. Maybe even going on 4. So and then Bracken, so I've got a lot that I'm going to try to juggle it all in here. My new dog Solo, that he's been working, he's been doing really well. As I've told you guys in the past, I'm not big on hunting my dogs their first year. I don't plan on it with Solo. He is not planning on hunting this year. He's not ready to hunt this year. He still has work that I want him to finish. Yes, could he go out and be successful? Absolutely. Could he go be steady, run his marks, run some basic blinds? For sure. Could we get into some bad habits that he is not overly prepared for? Yes. That is why, I'm not going to be hunting him this year. But it also gives me the chance to focus on these other guys. So all these dogs, what I do, I think this is really neat. And I've loved this, so I'd encourage you to do this too. I have a notebook that I keep in my truck. And after every hunt, I have Brock has a page, Clyde has a page, Bud, Strike, Bracken, everybody has their own page. When I get done with the hunt, I mark how many retrieves they had. If there's anything special about that hunt, I'll jot it in there. But I like at the end of the year to reflect back and say, Brock had X amount of duck retrieves, X amount of goose retrieves, X amount of, just kind of fun for me to be able to look back and say, I know they got this work. really kind of a fun way to keep track of the season and keep track of, for me, I like keeping track of a dog's lifetime. How many retrieves, how many live retrieves did they have over the course of their life? Kind of a fun thing that I like to do. But really looking forward to next week. I will keep you posted as we start our travels. I'll keep you posted on our hunts. And I think that this podcast is going to get more and more fun as we get into the season, because now we can talk about, a specific hunt. We can talk about a specific situation. We can start talking about what I'm going to do back home to maybe fix some issues that I'm seeing. It's going to get really fun. So continue to follow along. Thank you guys for all the support. Really means a lot. Really appreciate those stories. Really appreciate those comments. Really appreciate those 5-star reviews. Please keep those going. Super, super appreciative. Lastly, thank you to Sitka. The Sitka apparel, whether it's the everyday stuff, specifically as I go to the season now, I'm going to be hot, so I'm wearing the light gear. Huge game changer. I don't sweat. I'm not uncomfortable, but I can still stay concealed like I need to. And then all the way through late season, December or January 31st duck hunting, it's Sitka all the way. www.sitkagear.com. You will not be disappointed. Thank you guys for spending another week with me. I hope you guys have a great, great weekend. And I'm going to be burning it at both ends here as we continue this video work, as we continue towards next week, and as we continue towards season opener. Can't wait. Talk to you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Leave us a review on iTunes. And a special thank you to DUK, because without them, we couldn't do what we do here, bringing this information to you.